Well. Since I'm not typing, I can get rid of the keyboard and we can bring this in nice and tight and have a big, cozy shenanigans, shindig, wherefores, and what have yous. Who the hell is here? Well, I'm here. That's the first part. I have to show up, or else you guys just stare at a wall, and we don't want that. So, all right, I can see a flurry of the usual suspects. Everybody's in, everybody's coming in. The notification should be going out. Some of you got the smoke signals, and we're good with that. We'll see what happens from there. And yeah, there's so much to talk about. What do we have? We have so much to talk about. First of all, everyone is going to ask me, when already are asking me the same question. How did the podcast go? Now, I'm old, so you're going to have to forgive me on some of this, but I know part of it I don't understand. I thought a podcast was where you talked in a microphone. Yeah. And then you just recorded yourself and it was audio and then you put it up someplace because we do a podcast. Then I thought that a video podcast or a video cast was where you had a camera and you recorded it with no audience, nobody in the chat room, no comment section, and then when they were done, you just put it out there, you posted it, and people went to go see it. I didn't know that a podcast could be the same thing. In fact, it sounds more like the term podcast is being taken over with the audio and video is now a podcast, not just what you hear like you were gonna download an audio track, like Anchor and Spotify. Now they're um, moving things into the video realm. So I got it. I'm paying attention. I'm trying to catch up with technology's hard, but I'm working on it. So yeah, I learned that today. What we did was a podcast, but it was video. And the guys who did this, and I get the names right on here. Okay, it was through Compound Media, which has a ton of subscribers, and they are a paywall. You have to pay to go to any of the podcasts that are on the other side of their stuff. There's a paywall. So if I want to go see what I did, I have to pay to become part of it, which I probably will. I want to go see how badly I looked. And their particular podcast is 21 Gun Salute. There's 3 guys on there that are veterans. They're military veterans. Cool cats, every one of them. One is a Gen X my age named Frank, cool cat there. And then Sully, who's like 10 years younger, but still Gen X. And then they have a millennial, Jeremy, who they kick around behind the scenes, and he's in charge of posting and moving things around. They kind of did it like what the kid did the other day. You guys remember the live stream where the live stream was on and then the kid did Streamlabs, and it was the Vegas recap. Remember that, where he's moving pictures around and some video and stuff. So that's their whole format. And I guess that's the way that everybody runs their stuff now, is they do it just like that. So the kid was onto something about changing the format to go to that where it's more interactive and we're all discussing what we're seeing. I'm not just trying to relay something that I saw or heard. You can actually put it up for a few seconds and then we can roll with the conversation, which is always good. If the pictures are available, then I don't have to sit there and be super creative, do I? No. We can move on. So yeah, their live stream, or not, their podcast today was a lot about Gen X. It was kind of all based on Gen X, and they kind of wanted a Gen X opinion. And they are Gen X, but they all know what each other thinks. So they brought somebody in to the outside to kind of show that stuff. Let me see who's going. Ace Diamond, $20 for the whiskey fund. My man Ace. I haven't heard from Ace in a while. He sent me a picture. I did look at it, didn't get a chance to respond yet, but I haven't heard from Ace in a long time in here. My man just showed up. Brian, your Facebook Live left a cliffhanger. I know. Yeah. Yeah, we should get to that. That's Brian. Let me write that down in my notes here because you're not going to believe what happened. Okay, made my notes. We'll get back to that. Brian, good call, because Brian, see, if you hadn't dropped in and turned my screen teal, I'd have missed the whole thing. Because I forgot about that today. Yeah, that was a cliffhanger. Brian's right. Any of you who were on the Facebook Live, we did lunchtime with Gen X Dad. That's right, the 11:30 to 12:30 thing, Los Angeles time. Then yeah, it left abruptly. I mean, whoosh, and we'll get to that. Right in the middle of something controversial, right in the middle of something political, everything went dead, and I was flipping a shit biscuit the entire time. We'll get to that. All right, so back to the podcast. So these guys, it's Sully, Jeremy, and Frank, and they put on a good show. Yeah, they've got their stuff down. And so they brought me in, and they had a lot of a lot of things they wanted my opinion on from a Gen X point of view, a Gen X style. The first one was and I remember Jeremy's the kid, the millennial kid, and he's running the switchboard. This guy's putting up the pictures and the video links, and he's playing stuff. And I want to tell you, I don't think I've ever met a kid intentionally try to fuck up Gen X history like this kid. He plays the topic was, and what Sully was joking about was how all 80s movies are homosexual in nature. And if it depends on how you look at stuff, really, but they played all of these scenes in Top Gun with kind of the soft music of Top Gun, the melodramatic music of Top Gun. They're playing all these things, and they're showing these different scenes in the flight school where guys are, leaning on chairs and sitting kind of close together. Well, when you take it out of context like that, and you play this soft music, yeah, it looks like they're all, a bunch of guys who like guys, and it's not true. Hold on a second here. My screen turned orange. Parts per Google. Okay, parts per Google, $20. Good evening, General. Parts per Google. This is my first time catching a live, and I wanted to meet you at Red Rock, but knew you guys wouldn't know me. So I'll be ready next time. I live here. I love you and your family and see most of your videos. Parts per Google, thank you. I really wish you'd have showed up. I really wish you had. You could have just walked in and said, "Hey, I've seen one video." I would have been pleased as anything. Yeah, just like a pig in shit. That would have been me. Don't ever hesitate to come up to me. You guys, if you know I'm there, we're going back. We're going to go back to Vegas. Maybe a little bit more low key, just for some of the locals. I don't expect people to drive that distance, but we're going to go there. I would love to sit with you for just 5 minutes, just so I can meet you. But thanks for tuning in. I'm glad you're catching the live stream. I'm going to get back to the live stream now because it's really, really interesting. Or so I keep telling everybody. Go watch the live stream. I promise I won't be boring today. Parts per Google, thank you for checking in. I really appreciate it. Brian, $4.99 dropped in Terma Screen Teal again. I thought maybe Gen X Mom got those projects to come to life. Either that or she offed you. Brian, that is so fucking weird. You have no idea how close to home you just hit with that. Seriously, you have no idea. I wrote it down. We'll get to it. I'm not kidding, man. I don't know how. That's really weird. That's like you got a camera looking in over here, because what happened at that moment when I went ape shit. Yeah, I'm telling you, you're not far off. That's creepy, man. Nightbot, $5. Happy Star Wars Day from Australia. Oh, I see what you did, Nightbot, because you guys are a day. It's you some, happy Star Wars Day. Happy May 4th to you. I know you're a day ahead. That doesn't mean you're smarter than me. But hey, you know what, Nightbot, since it's May 4th over there, can I ask you something? What happens tomorrow? Just so I'm ready for it. If you wouldn't mind to just, you're a day ahead. If you could just tell me what happens tomorrow, that'd be great. I could, just email me, so I know. Just a little heads up, any stock market advice or any catastrophes I could stay away from, just between you and me. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, Nightbot. Appreciate it. Slim Chapo 303, $5. Much love from the Mile High City. Go Broncos. You know what? If I had my Broncos hat, I'd put it on, but I think I don't have it. But I would. That's Mile High City. I know, Rent, where you at? I've been there. I've been to the stadium. I love Denver. I do. I love everything about Denver. So may come back there and see. I was there not too long ago, but Slim, you and I didn't catch up. All right. So where was I here? So the story with the guys, so they go through and they play Top Gun, and then they go to the volleyball scene, which I'm trying to say was in there for the women. They are describing all of the context, and they're joking around, great guys, but they're taking my childhood out of context. They're showing all this stuff. I'm like that. So when it got to be my turn to talk, I was like, "What the fuck are you guys doing? You just played all that. That is not what was going on in that scene. There was some hardcore talking here. There was man stuff being discussed. It was a patriotic. It wasn't homosexual in nature. These guys were no. So I was over there defending Top Gun. Can you believe that? That's how we started the thing. It was a blast. It had a lot of fun with it. What's some of this that they talked about? There was a lot of lighthearted stuff. There was some heavy stuff in there. They're not stupid guys. They know what they're talking about. And I think they were kind of looking at me to see if I knew. One of the lighthearted ones, they asked the whole room, anybody you want to tell us who your first on-screen big movie crush was. And of course we're guys. There was no girls in there naming men, but it was the guys. And Frank, he said Pam Grier, and Frank's a black guy, cooler beard than I got, and he was a specialist, a demolition guy, and I think in the Marine Corps. Pretty sure it was the Marine Corps. Could have been I think it was the Marine Corps. Anyway, so he says Pam Grier, and the other two guys go, "Who's Pam Grier?" I almost took off my headset. I'm like, how do you fucking not know who Pam Grier is? And you could hear the kid over there, the millennial. He's trying to figure out who Pam Grier is, and he goes, "Okay, I see Pam Grier, but all the pictures are old." I'm like, just talk. The guy knows what you're talking about. So it's my turn. Of course, I said Phoebe Cates, and everyone agreed. I had a unanimous round of applause for the Phoebe Cates one. Yes, thank you very much, representing our version, our era of Gen X completely. And now remember, these are heartthrob questions. These are when you first looked up at the movie screen and you kind of fell in love and you had this desire and you wanted to meet that person and kiss that person. And the millennial guy said Molly Ringwald. He said Molly Ringwald. And I went, all right, cute. Yeah, attractive. I love Molly Ringwald. But the kid started to explain, because he heard the pause, that all the Gen Xers were like, Molly Ringwald. I mean, I love Molly Ringwald, but that wasn't really the idea of the heartthrob and the voluptuous and the beautiful, this package thing where the sex symbol is more maybe what I'm looking for. And everybody paused. Everybody in the podcast kind of paused and looked at the guy, because we can all see each other on the screens. And he goes, well, I was kind of a nerd, and she was a nerd, and I kind of fell in love with nerds. I like the nerd factor. So she was kind of geeky beautiful. She was kind of geeky hot. And like, okay, he was really straining to get there from here. He was having a hard time with that. He really was. Brian says his first celebrity crush ever was Amy Jo Johnson, Kimberly, the Pink Ranger from Power Rangers. Well, that's because you're younger, much, much, much younger. And my phone is beeping. Is anybody important? So anyway, yeah, there we go. Let me scroll down, see if there's any other colors that I missed in here, because I have been neglectful in my duties. I'm trying to talk here and get a story out. I'm missing what you guys are saying. Vado Loco. Was Cinnamon a stripper? No, wait, which Cinnamon? Now you're going to corner me here. Now Vado Loco is asking, was Cinnamon a stripper? Now, before I answer, I could be incriminating myself. So Gen X Mom is sitting right over there. I got to be really careful how I answer this. So Vado Loco, let's go with who? Cinnamon. Cinnamon. Nothing's coming to mind there, my friend. Cinnamon. The strippers. They aren't they the they dance, right? Strippers with the like music and poles. And yeah, you're kind of losing me here, buddy. I'm not really. I can't. That's how I have to answer that question. All right. Moving right along, Brian, do I have another to do to your Facebook left a cliffhanger? We talked about that. Scrolling down, I want to make sure Parscope gift. Brian, you got another one. Nightbot, we talked about that. And scrolling down, did I miss anything? Broncos, we got there. Any more blues that I missed in here? Because the blues don't show up on the top. I got to go looking for the blues. There's one. Mr. Bum Fiddly, chicken. Joe told me so. Joe says that he now has chickens. He does. He's chickens and goats in the woodshed. Brian, first celebrity crush. We got that one. And moving along. Barry Dano. Barry Dano says Adrienne Barbeau. I think that's how it's spelled. Loved her in Escape from New York. Adrienne Barbeau. I have not for me heartthrob, but the pictures, the posters, the playbills. Barry, you dead nuts on, my man. I mean, right up there, absolutely right at the fucking top. I'm not kidding. I'm losing myself with you right there. I can't help it. Ace Diamond says he just ordered his shot glass. Thank you much, Ace Diamond. I'm not sure. There can't be more than 6 of those left. So I'm glad you got one, Ace. I really am. How did I miss Aces up there? Did I scroll? Oh, I must have gone right by Ace. I'm sorry, man. Had to flip around, come back there. So yeah. All right. Yeah. Someone said Kelly LeBrock. That was one in there too. Yeah, I'm telling you. Wasn't there some in there? Kelly LeBrock. Although we never really got to see everything with Kelly, did we? They kept that shower scene kind of, you just caught the side boob thing, didn't you? And then you just didn't go, Now, Fast Times, man, it was open kimono, right? Yeah, which is true. So there you go. Yeah, there's a few names I recognize in there, but can you imagine the guy didn't know who Pam Grier was at all? Like at all. The kid had to go. That was so fun being on that show with those guys. Mrs. Four Watton, Soylent Blue Green takes place in the year 2022. Oh, that wasn't Mrs. Four Watton. That was Slarty Bartfast. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why that information is being passed along to me. Soylent Blue Green. That was Soylent Green. You kind of lost me on that. Bartfast, Slarty Bartfast. I'm trying to keep up. And what was the other one that was in there? There was something else. Oh, Linda Carter was in there from Ace Diamond. Okay, so I'm getting a note from Gen X Mom. What was the note? What are you passing along?
Jared Gorham is having baby twin girls right now, but he's watching you.
Well, Mrs. Four Watton has chimed in, and Gen X Mom has slapped me around, so I'm paying attention. I'm trying to read stuff here. Jared Gorham is having baby twin girls right now, but he's still watching the program. He is still here. Now, I don't know if he's actually watching. Maybe him and the doctor are both, they got it up on a screen. Maybe one of them's holding a phone. Either way, that's fine. I don't care if they're sharing AirPods. One's in the doctor and Jared's got one. That's the way it should be. It really should. It kind of drowns out all the screaming and the pushing that the mother's doing. Kind of keeps you focused on what you're doing, and that's what we're here for. We're here to distract you from that kind of stuff, so you can stick to what's important. And Gen X Talks live streams at 6:00 Los Angeles time is very important. That's his first kid. He's having two. God help you, and they're both twins. It's going to be a lot of fun. I promise you, Jared. You're going to have a blast till they're about 3, 4, and 5. Then you're going to realize those girls own your ass and there's nothing you can do. And then about 12 and a half, things change. And that's when you're going to come knocking on my door with a 6-pack of beer and you're going to want to sit down and talk. And I'm going to be there for you, Jared. I am. Because it's not an easy time to be a parent of girls, especially teenagers, and especially when there's two. I haven't had to deal with two at a time like that. Close, but not quite. So what I missed? Did I kick the other one? Good to doom. All right, so where was it? Yeah, back to the podcast. So we're doing the podcast with these guys. I figured out the technology part, and so I'm linked in the camera, the microphone, and we're doing it and talking about stuff. They had good topics too. They talked about some modern stuff with slavery and racism. The biggest one we talked about was the First Amendment and how there is now a forming department in the government, and they had actually video clips of this lady who's in charge of it, who decides. It's a department in the federal government that determines what is disinformation. They will decide if you are speaking the truth or if you are spreading lies. And it doesn't matter what platform you're on. It doesn't matter if you're on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or Twitter. It doesn't matter. They're trying to get a federal regulatory agency that will protect us from misinformation, that will protect us from disinformation, that will protect us from being misled, and they will keep our eyes on the ball and keep us focused on what we want to hear. They had a lot of stuff on the knowledgeable stuff. These cats are cool, and I don't like it, and they didn't like it either, because the whole thing is well, now what is true, what is disinformation? This path that we're supposed to be on is whatever they say. Now it isn't just up to Elon Musk and Twitter. It won't be, not yet, but it won't be. He won't be able to say, well, it's my company. It's a private company. We can say what we want. No. In the United States, we protect American citizens. In the United States, we don't allow people to have their minds poisoned. We want to keep everybody on the same track here. And they will be able to decide what is right and what is wrong. Yeah. So that's a thing now. That's coming. That's a thing that's on. It's in the works. Mrs. Nolan Void upgraded her membership to Bottom of the Glass Nation. Now, Mrs. Nolan Void just spent some time in the woodshed. I think she learned her lesson. She came right out and she upgraded her membership. Well done. Well done. Mrs. Nolan Void, you've done well. Thank you very much for playing. Mrs. Four Watton, my celebrity crush was Paul Newman. He can hustle me anytime. Also, Steve McQueen, the king of cool. Harem Sisters United, money for prom, 4 more days, $5. Thank you, Mrs. Forwatton. Now, Mrs. Forwatton, I'm guessing from our previous conversation, and I love you as much as I possibly can, and I have the utmost respect for you. You've done so many wonderful things for the Gen X Talks, for the family, for Gen X Mom individually. Thank you very much for that gift. She is involved in it now every day. Thank you for making her cry. That was the first part of that. Thank you for making her cry. I had to deal with that, unexpected. But I'm going to say this with the culmination of respect that I can bring forward to the table right now. If your first celebrity crush was Paul Newman, I'm going to think you didn't see that on the little. I'm going to think you didn't see his picture on salad dressing a few years ago. I'm going to think maybe you got a little time on me, a little bit. Look, I love Paul Newman. You got a man crush on Paul Newman, but I'm going to have to say, if that was your first, and Steve McQueen, Cool Hand Luke, baby, I'm going to have to put there's brackets of ages, and I love you, but if I'm gonna, have I said enough? Oh, Mrs. Forwatton, yes. You did pick 2 cool cats, though. You didn't. I would have been a little upset, Mrs. Forwatton, if you'd have come in and said, my first celebrity crush was Jack Lemmon, Walter Matthau. I might have been upset by that. Oh, who'd I miss here? Goon Mobile. How can our government decide what truth is when they rarely tell the truth? Yeah. It's funny you should, Goon Mobile, funny you should bring that up. Everybody can shut off the live stream right now and go over to the kids' Twitter. I contributed to the kids' Twitter page today, and I did a little. It's funny you brought that up, Goon Mobile, because if you go to Gen X Talks, or Gen X Talks 1, whatever it is, on the Twitter page, the little picture of Nancy Pelosi, that was me. Yeah, I did that right there. Exactly what you're saying, right? And it's funny you brought that up, because I did that before I even went on their podcast today. I posted that early for the kid. So yeah, well done there. Yes, thank you, and thank me. We're good. All right, scrolling down, see if I missed anybody here. I don't think that I did. Oh yeah, somebody wrote Suzanne Summers. Yes, or Bo Derek in 10. I had that poster. Yes, I did. I had that poster. I don't even care. I don't care who knows. I had the poster. So yeah, so now you're kind of caught up on that stuff there. So let me back up here. Kevin Grimes, Legion of X for 2 months. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate that. Right behind Mrs. Nolan Void's membership. I just missed there. Joe Haney, just got a few shotguns you can borrow. Jared. It's to keep the boys away from you. You're going to need that for sure. Absolutely. Many shotguns, many bullets. I've got those stories too. All right. So if I didn't miss anybody here, let me scroll back to the bottom. Bump, 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 bump. All right. So if I'm not behind on people saying hello, goodbye, and up and down and backwards, then I'm going to continue. So on the podcast, they had a ton of stuff in there. Oh, great. What's the matter? Wait. What's the matter? You fucked with me on Facebook today. Yes, you did. What's the matter? My celebrity crushes were Leif Garrett and Andy Gibb. But even as a straight female, Phoebe Cates was freaking hot for the $5 for the prom. Thank you. Now I know your real name because it's on Facebook, and you chimed in and you were giving me shit, and you knew stuff about over here. You knew stuff in here that nobody on Facebook would know. You knew the bottom of the glass nation shit, and you were fucking with me. So yeah, I'm paying attention. Unagi. I caught that. Barry Dano, here for a good time, but not a long time. Called back to work, slapping gears and hauling gravel. Hey, man, at least you're employed. There's a lot of us who are not. So thank you for doing that. Goon Mobile dropped a 10 spot, turn everything yellow. Do you think our country is being destroyed purposely or just from incompetence? That is a very, very real question. Without going too deep into it, I personally have a simple belief in the direction everything's going. And if you guys want to listen, this isn't a joke. This is not a story that, I'm just telling you the truth. This is how I feel. Goon Mobile asked, do you think our country is being destroyed purposely or just from incompetence? And it's both, but it's a simple explanation. I believe that everything on a liberal Democrat side is being destroyed and pulled back and reconciled to take control. And I think that's a design. I think they're doing that. I think the food shortages are coming because the food shortages, the growing is coming. They've banned and outlawed and rigged up that we can't get fertilizer. Go look at some articles. This is just leave the politics out of it. Go look at what the farmers all over the country are complaining, going, we can't grow food. We can't do this. You're handicapping us. And it goes back to oil and gas industry. Look it up. Artificial fertilizers that are safe that we've been using for years, they've deregulated them down to zero. Now the farmers can't grow. Well, that's a quick way to take control. Government will step in. We will ration the food. We will say who gets what. Don't worry. We're from the government. We're here to help. Now, I think that type of thing is happening a lot. I think there's a lot of areas. I listen to a lot of programs where a lot of people make sense. I listen to the other side of the arguments too. I listen to the liberals who have arguments against all this. So I listen very carefully to both, and I could tell you that the liberal Democratic arguments are very frail and weak and hollow, and they're nothing. The capitalist conservative, where they're trying to do and grow and be, are very strong, that we're in trouble. Now that's, for me, that's by design. But the problem is, once you go down that path, it's not easy to come back. You can't quite get back from there. Once you destroy a section of the economy, or you try to regulate it, or you take it over, it's not easy to come back from. That's the incompetence part. I don't think they have any fucking clue to how bad it's going to get once they do everything they want to do. Now, fortunately, don't panic and don't lose any sleep, because you can't do these things without all the regulatory committees, and the red wave that is going to sweep this nation in the elections in November is going to be outstanding. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be a breath of fresh air. Yeah, it will. It's happening. I can't even tell you, on every level of voting, from city councils on up, school boards that are changing left and right. I can't even tell you, that pendulum is swinging from political correctness and everything that surrounded it. The woke movement, I'm not going to repeat all all of that is now going the other way. Everyone is burned out on it. Everyone is tired of it. And this works. We've done this over here. The pendulum is swinging. Elections and school boards all the way up to Congress. You watch in the next 6 months, you watch what happens. All the ads will start coming out. You'll hear all the lies and everything else. Just watch, listen, read about your candidates, see what they're saying. There's tons of them that are switching sides. Tons. All right, hold on. Let me read some of this. Let me scroll down. I'm missing some people in here. Brian, welcome to the Bottom of the Glass Nation, my friend. Now, you just went straight to the bottom of the glass. So that top tier, you just earned a seat right next to me. And I don't care. I am flying this plane with my eyes closed. And all you did was sit down right next to me. Brian, drink fast, baby, because we're going to hit soon. All right, so scrolling down from Goon, let me see what I missed here. Boom, 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 boom. I don't want to miss anything, so I'm going to have to scroll back up and come down slowly. I got that one. I just want to miss anybody here. What's the matter? We did Celebrity Crushes. Barry Dano, Good for Time. Goon Mobile, Destroyed the Possibility. And Terry M. Hello, General. What's new, Terry? Glad you could show up. Glad you jumped in here. Just hang on 1 second. Let me scroll down. I'm just trying to get the colors out of the way. You guys have filled my screen. If I miss them, then I feel like a jabroni, and you can't have a jabroni running the show here. No. Carlos says Molly Ringwald was beautiful. Natural freckled redhead was awesome on the Breakfast Club. Carlos, is that your pick too? Really? As a sex symbol, Carlos, you're going to go with Molly. You're going to go with the millennial that I just trashed on the podcast earlier today. You're going that route. All right, my man. I'm with you. I won't. No. You don't got to turn your man card. You freedom of speech, baby. I read it. We're here. Carlos dropped $5, kicking that for the prom fund. Thank you very much. Brian, we did him. Goon Mobile. Thank you, amigo. You know what's up. Love your channel, by the way. Thank you, Goon Mobile. And the donations you put there, I want you to know that's going towards the kids' prom fund. He's got prom in 4 days, and he is scrambling. I got a story to tell you about him and his chick that you're going to be shaking your heads going, General, why aren't you drinking tonight? I don't know, but I'm still going to tell you the story. And we're now coming up. Well, Ace Diamond says drink. I can't yet, Ace. Mike Perkins, so you're in the Facebook woodshed. So are you in the Facebook woodshed for today? No, Mike. No, I think you were there, Mike. I'll tell that story in a minute. I wrote it down. Brian brought it up. I'm getting there. I got a lot to say, so you got to give me a second. All right, so let me bring in tonight's special guest, one night only, live from behind me.
I'm a recurring guest.
Recurring guest. He has a reoccurring role in the Gen X Talks drama
drama
TV series.
Okay. Man, you got your camera so low. I gotta there's no comfortable spot I can be in.
Oh, well,
Anyways.
it's all about your comfort, sweetheart.
Are you guys having side conversations? Not focusing on him?
No, they're talking to me.
Me?
We're good.
Him.
It's all about me.
It's the whole show. It's all about him.
That's what I'm trying to
If I had
say.
to sum up this show, I'd say Gen X Dad, and a little bit more Gen X Dad, and less side conversations.
Can you throw a little bit Gen X Dad on top?
Sprinkle a little bit more.
Yeah,
Stuff like
so
that.
we're good.
But yeah, I just wanted to stop by, say hi.
Well, that's what we're here for, is for you to say something intelligent.
Okay, you ready for something intelligent?
Yes.
Oh man, I had something.
Which was what?
No, that's the intelligent thought.
Oh, that you had an intelligent
Yeah,
thought.
I had one.
You know,
I swear I had
to
one.
show how dumb you are, no one can see you right now. They're talking to a black shirt.
No, they can't. They are talking to a black shirt. Look, my comfort is very important to me right now.
They want to know about your prom date.
I have failed as a parent. I have.
I got to make a poll for her name.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about it. It's like Gen Z date.
Gen Z date. There it is.
Okay.
You got it.
Okay, that's it. Goodbye.
Oh, all right. That was Gen Z Kid, and he'll be back. Brian says, got to go. I'll watch the vid and find out about the Facebook drop. Yes, Brian, I won't forget you. I promise. Hey, Mike Perkins dropped $4.99. Another $5 for the kids' prom fund. I'm telling you, he needs it right now. Joe, he missed that one because he was gone. Good joke about the chicken. That wasn't really a chicken joke. That was a goat joke, and that was a Joe Haney joke. So you can call it many things because it was disturbing on many levels. But let's be clear on one thing: that was a Joe Haney joke. All right, so where was I? Got lost on that. Got sidetracked there. Like one does. So we covered everything. So anyway, I'll kind of end the deal on for the podcast. 21 Guns, if you guys are part of the media group that promotes them, if you guys know about them. Compound Media, if you I don't pay to subscribe to anything, but I'm going to. That Compound Media it's got a ton of stuff in there. And you can't get to those guys without it. So that's a big thing. And to see them, I really want to hear more of their stuff. Now that I was part of it and I've learned a little bit about those guys and I spent some time with them, I really want to go back and see a lot of their podcasts now. Now I want to go back and dig deep. Yeah.
I think It's Fresh as Ann needs a little love from you. It's her 10-year anniversary and my husband's passed on. So I came here feeling blue. Feels like family in here.
It's Fresh Ann.
Yes.
Well, hang on real quick. Fresh Ann. TJ Ratzlaff dropped $10. Thank you, TJ. That's going to the prom fund, and he's going to need it. Now let's move over to It's Fresh Ann. All right, I can read it. It's right here on my screen. Y'all, it's my 10-year anniversary, and my husband's passed on. So I came here feeling a little blue. Feels like family in here. Thank you all for the warmth. And it is. When I tell you stuff like, the kid has 270,000 followers. He's got 1 million followers across the realm, but he's got 270,000 followers in here. And there's 1,000 subscribers. There's 1,000 followers in the segment. Then you get into the members, and there's 250 members, and then you get down a little smaller, and you end up at the bottom of the glass nation. You get down here a little closer, and you get to real people with real feelings. We're all fucked up, every one of us, and you're going through something right now with the memory of a loss of your husband, and Gen X mom just lost her mother, and Frank Blegan here was talking about his wife passed away in the last month. Even Mrs. Fort Watton talks about her losses from years ago, and we're all talking about our animals that are all old and passing on that we love dearly. You fit right in with a bunch of misfits because we all have the same feelings and we care. There's nobody in here, and there's nobody here that's just going to blow you over like, oh, yeah, sorry about your loss. What's the next joke? No, that is not the way that is. And that's especially not the way it is with me. I am reading what you wrote. I guarantee that There's no possible way I can feel what you're feeling right now. All I know is that it's bad. All I know is that it hurts. I'm never going to pretend that my words are going to be any more comforting than anything you've already heard. What I am going to promise you is I'm not going to give you any cliches. Not going to tell you, well, he's in a better place. Well, time heals all wounds. Bullshit. All that fucking rhetoric that people say, trying to be nice and kind. If there's anything I can do. No, there's nothing you can fucking do. Bring my husband back. Yet you want to do something? Bring my husband back or shut the fuck up and quit asking me what you can do. Isn't that how you feel sometimes? Isn't that what you want to say when someone says that? Well, and I don't know where you are in the real world. I can't give you the only thing that you really need is a hug. It's true. To not be alone. It's true. The only thing that can happen that can even begin to take the edge off a little bit that I've ever seen, maybe it doesn't work for everybody, is to not be alone. I know that that's one of the only advices I've ever given to people around someone who's suffering is I always whisper, hey, could you make sure they're not alone? Could you call? Could you go over there? Could you spend an hour with them? Cup of coffee, cup of tea? Could you just sit? Do you not say anything? That's the only thing that I can think to say or do that would help. And I know it's not going to really do a whole lot. But in here, and when you're with us in here, then you get a little bit of that. People are reading, they're paying attention. I know we're far away in the computer era. This virtual world can seem so vast, but maybe if you could allow my voice and these people's words in here to just sit close to you, just for a little bit, maybe we could say that you're not alone. Maybe just for right now, just for this moment, you're part of something that can pull you over to the campfire, to a circle around the campfire. Maybe it can pull you to a seat up around this bar that we all sit around and talk about, be part of. Yeah. I think that's a thing. I think it's a real thing. I know that sometimes when we're not in here talking, there are people that miss being in here because it becomes a routine. It becomes a friendship. It's just like, how can the people laugh and say, well, how can you get attached and how can you feel that's just over the computer? But you don't mind getting a phone call from your grandmother. You can be on the phone with your mother for an hour or your aunt, and that makes you feel better and makes you feel closer to your family. How come those things count, but these don't? Yeah, they do count. It is a real thing, Anne. I wish I had words that would do something for you, and I'm never going to come up with anything, but I want you to know you are 100% welcome here. You're not an outsider sitting in a seat labeled guest. You're one of us. And we're all going to suffer. Some of us are doing it right now. Some of it is coming. At some point, Anne, you're going to be the one reaching out to try to give someone a hug and make sure they're not alone. I promise. So I'm sorry for what you're going through. I wish there was something any of us could do to change it, but there's not. All we can offer is just this ragtag rebel line of misfits and tell you that we do listen and we are paying attention and we do care. And I don't have whiskey tonight, but I got a Coke. It's a step up from Hawaiian fridge water, that's for sure. And Anne, I wish there was more we could do, but this is for you. Hang out as long as you're comfortable. We love you and we want you here. And that's all I can say about that, as Forrest Gump would say. That wasn't a very good Forrest Gump voice. That's all I could say about that. And then like a dummy, he moved on. He didn't know what he was doing. Gen X dad's not a smart man. He didn't know how to read, so his wife had to show him. That's it. That was all you guys get from not doing any more Forrest Gump. Feel like an idiot as it is. All right, what did I miss? I was talking away, and I got all sidetracked because I was talking with someone who's important, and then all the unimportant things in my life just blew right by me. So let me go back and look, please. We did TJ, $10. Thank you for the Prom fund there. Joe Haney, where is the mystery chat room, Joe? We don't allow farm animals in the chat room, so Yeah, no one's invited you yet. We're a little scared. Yeah. Julia Harris, prom fun. Have a good time. Thank you, Julia. Appreciate your effort there. Everything helps going in the pile. Every time you give 25 cents or more, it makes the pile a little bit higher. Yes, it does. Who else is in here? I saw something else fly by and then I missed it. And then I went back and I missed it again. Devin SS. Sorry for my tardiness. Do I have to go to the woodshed? No, Devin. I will be taking personal charge of your discipline. Yes, so just go wait over there in my office. All right. And we're moving on and we're scrolling down. Did I miss anything else? No colors, no stuff. Elizabeth Rojas, you are loved by the bottom of the glass nation. Yes, and that wasn't for me. All those pink hearts weren't for me. That was for Anne. And Ed, you haven't missed anything. Nothing at all. All right, so I forgot where I was talking about. 21 Gun Salute. Go check them out. I got a lot more I could say about the podcast. I think it went rather well. The only grading scale I have for how I did on the podcast is I asked them when we were done. We were still connected. The podcast was over, but we were all still talking. And I said, so how did I do? Did I meet your expectations? Did I do what you guys wanted? And they quickly responded and said, oh, don't worry, man. You were great. You were way better than our last guest. I mean, by a lot. And I was like, oh, far out. That's cool. And we talked a little more. I said, can I ask who your last guest was? Because if they're going to tell me somebody like, Bill Burr, or they're going to tell again Mel Gibson, I'm going to feel great. So I just wanted to know who the last guest. I didn't care how dumb his name was. I was going to go Google the guy and make sure, that I was better than that guy. You know what they said? I said, remember, I was asking for comparison. So I did better than the last guy. Who was the last guy? They said, oh, we don't know. He didn't show up. True story. That's exactly what they said. We don't know. The guy didn't show up. I said, well, then just to be clear, you're saying I did better than a no-show. I said, oh, yeah, you're much better than the guy that didn't show up. It's like, oh, okay, well, thank you. And that's kind of how it ended. But they're good guys. They're sarcastic. They're funny. They're witty. They're smart. And they keep it at ground level. These guys are fucking cool cats. I doubt they'll ever ask me back again. Now, the reason 21 Guns won't ask me back again, the real reason is probably because I didn't live up to their expectations. But I'm going to personify the lie, the story that I'm going to tell everybody when they say, hey, did you ever go back? Were you ever invited back to that 21 Guns podcast? And no, I'll never be asked back there again. Once I got there, it was clear that I kind of took over the show, that my level of expertise and talent was far exceeding their capabilities to handle. Frankly, I just made all of them look bad. So they won't be ever asking me back again. Now, that's the story. Now, I want to clip that part and put that out there because that's the lie I'm going to tell. I'm going to push that they're never going to have me back. I was way too much for their show. We'll keep the truth over here. We like the truth. We'll set it over here. But the truth is that I probably didn't get up to their level. So we'll leave it at that. But remember the lie. So anybody who asks you, hey, how did the general do? That's what you tell them. Okay. And we all stick to the lie. We can get through this. Yeah.
Mary M sent you $2. You missed it. Have you been getting my emails? He wants to know.
I haven't checked emails in a couple of days. I will get to them tomorrow. Terry M. Hey, gentlemen, you getting me? No, Terry, I did get that one we're talking about, the Miss Brandy thing. We got all through those. If you sent me some after, I haven't got to those yet. But Terry, I will. I got to get to the rest of my emails. But the truth is that I'm not allowed. When I go to my emails and there's 390 emails, I was informed by Mrs. Forwatten the rule is to answer the emails by Mrs. Forwatten first, and then I can get to you. So you're gonna have to wait a minute. That's the rule, and I'm obeying. Michael Casper, $10, keeping it real, General. Glad to be a part of the Island of Misfits. Bottoms up. 8 goes to the Whiskey Fund. Z gets the rest. Party on, brother. Thanks, Michael. Far out, man. That's really cool of you. That's a cool jump right there. I dig that. That's going in the pile. All right, so. All right. So that's it. That's how the podcast went. We're done talking there. Let's move on. Now, let's go to the kid and his date. Prom is 4 days away. There's 2 stories about prom that we want to get through. All right. So 2 stories where you have to listen up. You have to pay attention. Yeah, you do. or you'll miss it. And one is we'll do the semi funny one first, and then the little quandary off to the side. I don't know his date. I've seen pictures and a couple of videos. She seems wonderful. She's obviously got terrible taste in men because she likes my son. So we have to question her judgment right off the bat. However, so yesterday when I was sick, not feeling well, the kid calls me from school. Now follow me on this. You got to follow me. I will try to draw it out for you, but you need to follow me. He says you got to come. It's 1:30. He gets out of school at 1:30 on Mondays. He says, come over here, pick me up. You got to grab my paperwork from the office. We got to go to the ice cream store, Dewar's, and we have to wait there at the ice cream store. Go to my school, go to the ice cream store. And my date is going to show up. We're going to give her paperwork. She's going to go to her school, fill out her paperwork, get everything signed from the administration, come back to the ice cream place, give us the stuff. We'll go back to my school, and I'll do all the administrative paperwork there, and we'll get the paperwork signed, and I'll buy the tickets. Now, in my haste, I didn't pick apart the story far enough. I should have. You think I'd be aware, and I wasn't. And what happened was that so it's 1:30. We race over to this place, and now it's 1:45, and we're sitting there. And he says, "Okay, she's coming." I said, "Well, find out where she is." And he tells me that well, her mother's picked up other kids. They're dropping them off at different places after school. Then they'll be here. And I went, "We got this going on. Why don't you just drive straight here?" I said, "Okay, if they're still dropping kids off around the school and their school's kind of far away, I don't want to be sitting in this parking lot for an hour to an hour and a half. Then I have to wait for them to go back to their school, get things signed, and come back here again. I'll be here 2 or 2.5 hours." I said, let's drive to their school. When the mother gets done running the other kids around, just come right back to the school. We'll be there, do the paperwork, and we'll take it over to your school. We don't have to do all this running around, meeting people, waiting and meeting and waiting. He says, okay. So he texts her and says, "Hey, we're just coming to your school, and we'll be over there in a little bit." So we get there a little bit after 2. And I said, "Okay, well, how far away is the mom from running these kids around and dropping them off? And let's go. Let's get them back here. Let's get to the school, get stuff." He looks at me and goes, "Oh, she just texted me. She's still in class. Their school doesn't get out till 2:30. Their school doesn't get out till 2:30. First of all, he lied. There's no way he contacted the girl and she said, "Oh, I'm in the car running around with my mother, dropping off children right now," because she was still in science class. All right. On top of that, if I had gotten to the ice cream place at 1:45, I would have been sitting in the parking lot of the ice cream place till 2:30 before she even got out of school. Then running all the kids around, then driving to me. I would have been there an hour and a half before we even gave the paperwork to her. Then she has to run back to her school and get everything signed and processed. Then she'd have to drive back to the ice cream place where I've still now been sitting for probably 2.5 or 3 hours waiting for all this to get done. I was so mad. So I stopped him and I said, "I'm pissed. I'm getting ready to leave. What the fuck is going on?" And he says to me, "There's plenty of tickets left, but my date is freaking out. She wants all this paperwork done right now because she's worried that we're not going to get a ticket and the tickets are all going to be sold out. So she's hurrying us all around." I said, "Wait a minute. Didn't you have the opportunity to buy tickets for like the last 3 weeks?" And Gen Z kid goes, "Well, yeah, I did. I did." I said, "So you got lazy and didn't buy the tickets when you were supposed to. So now your chick is in panic mode and she wants us all this driving and signing because it has to get done now because she's upset, because she's in panic mode. Why am I running all over town? Because you're lazy and she's in panic mode. Why am I screwed up? Why am I ruining my afternoon?" So he's like, "Just Dad, calm down. Just don't make a scene. Just please, please, please." So he finally gets out of the car, gets out of the truck, goes up there, finds her, goes in and gets things signed and comes back. I said, "Okay, so to complete this bizarre bullshit quest we're on, per your date, which we're now hustling our asses off per your date to get things done because she's in a frenzy. Let's race back to your school now that we got the paperwork and let's buy the fucking tickets. And he goes, well, yeah, we don't have to go back to school. I said, well, of course we do. Why are we out here? The end goal was to end up with 2 tickets because things were messed up. So of course we do. He goes, well, she didn't have her ID on her, so I can't get a photocopy of the ID to take with me to my school once I got the paperwork signed, but if I don't have the copy of the ID, I can't. Has to be printed out because they got to staple it. I can't go get the tickets. I said, okay. Let me see if I get this right. You're lazy and you don't buy the tickets for 3 weeks. And because you're lazy and stupid, your chick, who's probably pretty smart and knows that you're going to screw this up, she gets in panic mode and is now making you and I hop, skip, jump through hoops and backwards and upside down to get this done because it's got to be done now or we're not going to get our tickets. And come to find out, she's not even prepared to help us finish our quest. She doesn't even have the ID to help us finish our quest. Am I getting this right? Am I fucking up my afternoon over 2 kids that can't get their shit together? Yeah, that's pretty much how it happened. So he is 16. She is 16. They're both, this is their first prom. They're trying to figure stuff out. They are panicking, both of them. Nothing is going as planned. Everything is upside down and backwards. They're trying as hard as they can to keep the peace with all the parents because the parents are the ones that are helping them get everything done. And here, that brings us to sunny point number 2. So now you guys are getting caught up. Now we'll get into the part that matters. Okay. So yes, this is how this is going. So now he's 4 days away from the prom. He's got most of his stuff where it's supposed to be, with the help, the donations, and everything. We're getting things where he's at. If she's the one, I wonder how she's going to be able to deal with the ambush videos. Ever wonder what a Gen Z wife thinks? Oh, Brian, that would be fucking hilarious. That would be great. Now, so he does know that you guys are donating to help him, and he is super grateful. And it was a joke amongst everyone in here for a long time about getting a picture of them in a little red wagon and getting Two Bear up here to pull the red wagon while they're dressed up in their prom gear. And lo and behold, Mrs. Forwatton sends us a little red wagon. I shit you not. We now have a little red wagon here. And the kid's like, okay, seriously, Dad, do I gotta? I said, if you want any of the money that the crowd, that your followers, your fans, the people that really care about you are sending you, if you want that money, then you're going to sit in the fucking wagon. So he calls up his date, his girl. He goes, okay, so we got some stuff going on and things are looking good. However, you're going to find this kind of funny. Funny thing happened. I kind of committed you to doing something for the as a thank you to the. And she's like, what are you talking about? Get to the fucking point. He says, we got to sit in a red wagon for some pictures. That was the deal. And that was the deal. We all made the deal. So Mrs. Fort Watton sends a red wagon, and he talked to her, and she finally was a good sport about it and said, all right, we'll sit in the wagon. That sounds fun. So we are going to get some pictures of the two of them in the red wagon. That is strictly because of you guys. If you guys hadn't made the donations to get to this point, if you guys hadn't, Mr. Fort Watton hadn't purchased the red wagon, having it here, which I think is going to be really hilarious because I'm not letting them off the hook. This is going to be funny as hell. Because of you guys, we're actually going to get these prom pictures in a little red wagon. I shit you not. And we're going to take the little red wagon over to where all the professional pictures in town, the little brook that runs under with a little tiny bridge. And it's so peaceful and serene with a stream and everybody's good. And they're going to be in it on the little bridge. The only ones taking turns, wheel up the red wagon and put their asses in it. Yes, because of you guys, this is not only going to work, not only going to happen, but the little red wagon's going to happen too. My screen just turned pink. Mrs. Fort Watton, forgive the... Oh, whoa. Mrs. Fort Watton dropped a half a C note she knows that I have an affection for her, so I'm gonna listen to what she's. And you know what her first words are that I read? Forgive the kid. I swear to Christ Almighty, if I could scroll past that, I would. Right now, I'd scroll right past it. I picked a terrible night not to drink, especially if Mrs. Fort Watton's going to do this shit to me. All right, I'll read it. Mrs. Fort Watton, forgive the kid and his kid's date. We all remember what it was like to be so excited about prom. He's a good kid. If it were for him, we wouldn't know you and Gen X mom. All right, okay. Mrs. Fort Watton, you hit me right in the feelers. Not that he's a good kid, but that the truth is that if we didn't have Gen X kid, then you guys wouldn't have this. And who would deny the world such an outstanding, fine, law-abiding, moral individual? Yeah, I'm with you. Oh, yeah, and then Mrs. Fort Watton threw in at the end Gen X mom, so yeah, she's kind of nice too. Great. We'll take her. Oh, my God, I can't believe these guys are pushing me down that road. We'll go to Ricky in a minute. They just got handled a note from Gen X mom. So Mrs. Fort Watton has continued that ball rolling down for the prom. Yes, he is. Which Anthony Tony for the prom, please post pictures. Anthony Tony, my man, you and I sat across from each other in Las Vegas, my man. I had the privilege of shaking your hand, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't go tell all your friends it didn't happen. Yes, it did, and I've got pictures, my man. I got pictures. Your internet is forever. The internet is forever. It's like shit written in ink, and not that stupid invisible ink either. No. Real stuff. All right. So let me scroll down here. We got that. Did I miss something in there? I don't think I did. All right. So everybody has started this pile flowing. Let me get to the crux of it. I don't know if she's here tonight. I'm looking for Miss Liz. Anybody seen Miss Liz tonight? I don't know if she's in here. She listens when she can. She is becoming one of the program directors, if you will. We got some things in the works with her, which should really be some fun stuff. We can get to that later if you remind. Miss Liz, I don't know if she's around or not. All right, so there's many reasons for me to not be happy. I don't need to invent reasons. I can be generally unhappy for a whole host of reasons that are already built inside of me. I think we would all agree on that, would we not? Yes. Okay. So Miss Liz is in. Okay. Well, if she's in there. So anyway, let me finish. Miss Liz has been working on some sort of a limousine package or a bus package or a van package. It has not come together the way everyone would want it. Miss Liz is doing a fantastic job. Let me tell you what a good job she's doing at the end of this crux. Now, no matter what you do for a limousine or a 15-passenger van or a Lincoln Navigator driven by Matthew McConaughey, anything is going to cost money. And if you get a driver, professional drivers, they're 100 to 150 an hour, and these kids are going to be out 4 or 5 hours. So of course they come to me, and the kid sits there and lays out his case. He says, "Well, Dad, the limousine is going to be an important night. It's a very big night." And I said, "Okay, son, I've heard everything you've got to say. You've put things in a cohesive way. It's a manageable sentence. I do understand you. No, you're not getting a limousine. I'm going to drive you in my old Chevy pickup, and the girl can sit on your lap, and that's going to be good enough. And I'll sit outside every place you got to go for your pictures, for your prom, for your dinner before and your dessert afterwards, and I'll just sit there and drink and wait." No. So he comes to me again and says, "Dad, we'll get some stuff and figure it out, and then we'll split it. We'll split the cost. You've got 6 friends, and everybody will chip in and put it together. The cost will go way down." I said, "You know what? I understand you. I think you've put together a cohesive sentence. I do understand what you're saying. You've laid it out beautifully." No, I'm not doing it. And the reason I don't want to do that is because he'll talk to all of his friends. He'll get this bill around $700 or $800 for some limousine or a big bus and the guy to drive it. And then it'll always be me pay for it. And then everyone will just chip in, and his friends won't, because they really won't have talked to their parents. They really won't follow through. They just give him the yes, he gives me the yes, and then try to get paid after that. I've done that so many times with so many kids. I said, I'm not falling for it again. No fucking way. I'm not doing it. So again, I said no. I'm not just getting my Chevy truck and I'll drive you. So Miss Liz, this is where the Miss Liz part comes in. She has been working, trying to finagle some stuff and has had 13 or 14 big avenues. And I was like, wow, she's really working. And now she's been coordinating with Gen X mom, not me, as much, not with me. And she finally got to the point where it was, I forget what the final thing was, like a big, huge, brand new 15 passenger van that would take all the kids. And it was, she said she would personally drive it. That means that her narrow ass is going to be driving from way down south to way up here, carting their asses around and then driving all the way back home. That giving that much, just it hurt me to even hear that offer. And I'm like, still, who would, even if she did it for free, which I would never allow, why you're still talking, it's still $500 or $600 to do all this. I said, no fucking way. So there's Miss Liz trying to do as much as she can. The kid come to me and said, well, even if it was $600, Dad, we could all chip in $200 and just, and I said, not fucking doing it. I'm not interested. You're going to get in my old Chevy and I'll just drive you. Now, I don't know where we landed by the time that this live stream started. I don't know. I know he doesn't have enough money in his prom fund for that. This fucking guy's got enough money he's barely just getting by on his shit. But just so you know, Miss Liz is one of the heroes of the story. She has really put time and energy into figuring out as much as she possibly can. She was calling in favors for limo drivers, and it just didn't work out because this is the time of year that limousines get booked up. A lot of times there's two people, there's two proms going on, and the limousines are all fighting for where they're going. I got that. But now you guys are all caught up. There is going to be the red wagon. You guys have been wonderful. Mrs. Forwatton says it let them off the hook, but Mrs. Forwatton did not say to push for this thing. So I'm not pushing for it, but just so you guys know, the kid and his date, disorganized, crunchy. Miss Liz over here, wonderful, beautiful, with great effort and trying to solve problems that just can't be solved. So going back to what did I miss here? I know I missed some stuff. He did. He got his tux. He's all ready to go.
He has to pick it up tomorrow, $180 later.
Did he? He said he already paid for it. He said you already paid for it.
But we have to go. But it was
$180 for his tuxedo or suit or whatever. He's got to pick it up tomorrow. That's it. That's all I know. Eric Leroy, my prom date's parents rented a car for me to drive her around. Well, that would be great, Eric, except the kid failed his driving test 3 weeks ago. When he finished his driving test, pulled into the DMV, and both front wheels hit the front curb and jockeyed the car back. Boom. Automatic fail because he hit it like with such, I mean, the car, I watched it, boom, and came back. Oh, he had an amazing story on how it wasn't his fault. The instructor told me to turn it, but to turn. I said, I don't care. You didn't clip the corner. You were actually pulling into the slot straight ahead. All the problems were solved. You knew where you were going, and you hit the curb so hard it rattled his teeth. He dropped his pen, and he failed you. Plain and simple. So, Eric, that'd be great to rent him a car. He doesn't have a license. Yeah. Oh, my God. All right. So where are we going with this? What did I miss? What did I see? Moving along here. Anyway. Scrolling. I don't know what I missed. I don't think I missed anything else there. All right. So anyway, that's the prom. You'll get your stuff. And I had other things to speak about, but just like during a big show, for some reason, Gen X Mom was nice enough to write me a note. So we are going to continue with the note. Ricky Dean. That's a name I don't recognize. So I got to scroll back up and see if I can find a Ricky Dean. I don't know if it's a blue or a what. All right. So Ricky Dean says a 17-year-old daughter who thinks she's a socialist. And how do I deal with that? It's really funny, Ricky, when you have a child who embraces the socialist system. It's kind of a hard thing. You can prove stuff to them and it won't matter. The socialists, and they want everything. They want free healthcare, and they want everybody equal, and they don't want anybody left behind, and they're going to bring everybody across the border. And then you say, well, how are you going to pay for it? Well, I'm just going to go get it from the rich, and I'm going to get it from those who have it, and we're going to be fair. We're going to treat everybody nice, and everybody's going to have a home and healthcare and a car. And you say, well, how are you paying for this? Well, I'm going to go get it from everybody who's got the money, and I'm just going to socialist, and I'm going to spread it out. Well, when you actually get down to where they're going to get the money, they're getting it from capitalism. They're going to go after rich people who have earned money. They're going to go after small businesses who earn money every day. They're going to go get the money to try to pay for all of their socialistic programs from the thing they say they hate the most. Their number one enemy is capitalism. They hate it. They're going to tear it down. And then I always remind them, where are you getting the money then? I know you hate capitalism. They hate that you have a job, where they have to ask you for the money. They just want the money. They don't like that you work and you have money in your pocket, in your bank account. They're like, give me money for my stuff right now. Come on. That's socialism. The only thing you can do, and I don't know the situation, so I would never just say throw your child out on the street. That's not what I mean. But as they approach 18 and you encourage them to move out or pay rent. Yeah, I've made all my kids pay rent. They're not just going to live here for free and soak it all in and lay out by the pool. No. They're going to get a job. They're going to earn money. They're not going to borrow my cars anymore. Go get your own car, pay your own insurance, pay your own cell phone bill, and pay rent, even if it's $100 a month. That's how responsibility grows in a person real fast when you make them do it. You got to make them do it. Now, they'll hate you all the more for it, but you have to show them their money is valuable. They don't want to give it up. They don't want to take it and give you rent and pay for a car. They like driving your cars. You really want to turn the screws to them when they have a job? Tell them to get a stack of $101 bills of their money, and you drive them down to the homeless shelter, and they have soup night where you can help feed everybody. And every person that goes by, make your daughter give them $1. Every person. And when she doesn't want to, say, well, this is what you do. You want to do this. You want to give away money. Here it is. Well, then not my money, Dad. I don't want to give away I don't have enough. Oh, so now you're going to decide who has enough money to give money to homeless people. You have more than them. They need $1. Just give them $1. There's all sorts of clever ways that you can expose the fallacies of socialism. And you have to hit them where it hurts. You have to show them. You're not being mean. You're not yelling. You're not fighting. This isn't something to scream about. Although once they see what you're doing, they will kick and scream to get you to stop. But if you continue with it, there's all sorts of little things you can do to show them that just blanket socialism is wrong and can't work. It is not sustainable. And here's the phrase that is not my phrase. I've stole this from someone, but you can use this on them. With socialism will fail every time, because eventually you run out of other people's money to spread around. Yeah. Socialism just feels good. It doesn't really do any good. That's it. Ricky, I don't know if that helps you or not. I'll look for a comment below to see if that makes any sense at all, or if you're telling me to go screw myself.
That's a great idea.
Oh, he did? I missed it. I was looking for that too, but I'll take your word for it. Anyway, so was there anything else I want to tell you guys? There was some stuff in there. All right. I did promise that I would get to the Facebook story, and then this is the last one for the night. All right. So we're building up the Facebook presence. He's putting up the reels, and Gen X Mom and the kid are putting up the nostalgia things. We're doing really good there. Conrad Cruz, $2. Got my shot glass, 88 of 200. That's a cool fucking number. Conrad, I'm glad you got that. We've only had one that broke. We've only had one shot glass that broke. And Gen X Mom is working on that one, but that's it. So Conrad, thank you for the $2 that's going in the prom fund. Now, we're on Facebook. So one of the things is that we have to do 4 hours in a week live before you can get a stars or hearts or something. I don't know what it was. It doesn't matter. I don't care about that part. My part is to just keep opening my yap and keep talking. So what we do is we've decided, Gen X Mom and Gen Z Kid have pushed me to get their minutes up on Facebook. Is so we go on at lunchtime every day from 11:30 to 12:30. We do a European show at 10 a.m., which some of you are part of, and then I have lunch and get set, and then the 11:30 to 12:30 is on Facebook. And we're building an audience. We started with 6 people every day, and yesterday we were at 30, and now we're up in the 60s. It was turning out real well, and we got into a political discussion, and it was deep, and they were engaging. The numbers were creeping up. People weren't leaving; they were listening. Yes, even during a political discussion. Imagine that. People listening. Yes. And as it was growing, and as I'm doing this, and I'm really arriving at the crescendo, I'm skating on that line of being banned, and everyone's listening, everyone's participating. We're going, and some of you were there for this. Some of you in here were there for that. And all of a sudden, with everybody on bated breath, as I'm getting to the apex of the story, the live stream shuts off. Shuts down completely. Now, on your end, the thing froze. There was comments, and you guys were trying to, and it wasn't on your end. No. It's on my end. Shut off. Shut off completely. And everyone jumped in with, oh my God, look at Facebook is censoring, controlling. And I quickly got to a point where I could write in there and say, I'm not blocked. I'm not banned. I'll be back tomorrow. And that was all I told him. You want to know what happened? Gen X Mom was fiddling around over here next to me, and there's a power bar, and she wanted the cord to her laptop. Now, you would think any rational, normal adult would take the laptop cord and follow it until you knew which one you were pulling out. You know what she did? She pulled the plug on everything on this table. The lights, the computer, the microphone, the chargers, everything went down. She pulled the fucking cord on the whole goddamn thing. Computer, shut up. Fucking Alexa. Anyway, that's what happened. That's why it died all at once, right in the middle, midstream. I could have looked over and said, what the fuck are you doing? I was almost going to go, watch what you're doing, because I know her. I know Dingy McGee. I knew it, but I was in the middle, and I was at the crescendo and the apex of story. I was getting ready to make my point. I was driving it home. I mean, I was nailing this one. It was feeling smooth, and everybody was there paying attention, going. And then I didn't want to break away in the middle to say, and I paid the price. I paid the price. Fucking cut me off. Pulled the whole fucking plug. Just yanked it right out from under me. Everything went black and everything went dead. I was so fucking livid. I can't tell you. So when Brian says, did Gen X Mom cut you off? Did Gen X Mom kill you? Did Gen X Mom beat you? No. But you hit very close to home, Brian. It was Gen X Mom fucking around, dicking with shit she shouldn't be touching. Yeah, it was her. Ruined the whole thing. One of the best live streams we've had on Facebook. We're trying to build an audience. We're trying to keep people there. It was all being sewn in nicely and like this wonderful and then smack with a hammer comes in. Yeah, that was her. That's what happened. Yeah. I'd like to say, well, it was Facebook and censorship and we're fighting back against the powers that be. No. Just the wife with sticky fingers. And yeah, that's all. Hammer Swinger, 1999. Have a blast, kid. I will pass that along. Listen, I'm going to go. You guys have been more than generous with your time and your money. You guys have been wonderful advice for the kid. Thank you so much for doing all this. I really appreciate everything you guys have done. I really appreciate that we get to the GOAT fund that Mrs. Fort Watton got me dollar for dollar for. We'll talk about that after prom's over because that's what's next. The GOAT cometh next, and we got to dig in for that one. So we'll get there from here. But for right now, thank you guys for showing up. It's been an hour and 13 minutes, but remember, this is my 4th show of the day. The 10 o'clock European show, the Facebook one, which did last about 40 minutes or so. So I got some time in there. I did an hour and a half on the podcast with 21 Gun Salute. You guys need to go check them out. That 21 Gun podcast is really something you should be interested in. I'm going to buy it for 1 month just to see their back episodes and to see how much they edited down. I was on there for an hour and a half. What if they got me down to 2 minutes? Here's Gen X Dad, and good night. Because it could be just that. I don't know. If it is, then I'm going to hope none of you go find out. I'm just going to tell you I'm going to tell you I was the only person on it. Was great. It was the whole thing. I'm not ever going to tell you I failed at that. No. So, but that's on there, and I got to go check it out. So this is my 4th show. And Medina, have fun at the prom. Another 20. We're getting there. Now we're doing good. Thank you, Medina. Thank you so much for that. For the kid. We really appreciate it. And that'll go right to the prom fund. I promise I won't drink it. I will not drink your $20. I won't. I know the right thing. I know how to behave. So I'm going to say goodnight, but remember, I'm going to cut a little short for what we normally do. This is my 4th time today. This is my 4th time going through this. I still got my voice. I'm running out of steam a little bit, but it's not bad. Any of you who stick around in the chat section, you guys always seem to hang out in the chat over here, the comment section, until we're done. I will read the stuff, the good afternoon, good evening, and good nights. I will say good night to everybody here. We'll talk about this stuff in here. But remember, the chat room is still open. The Gen X Talks chat, it holds 50 people. If you're one of the first 50, you can get over there. You guys can talk to your heart's content. For a little bit, I may stop by over there. It'll always have my name in there, but that just means I'm leaving it on. So you guys have a place to just check in. You can see who's there. Maybe I checked in a few times today. Sometimes there was 4 or 5 people. Sometimes there was 20 people in there. You guys just use that as a place for our little group to go and talk. When you guys want to feel at home, when you guys are reaching out to someone who cares, that's the room. When we're not here doing this, you can be there doing that. That's it. I'm out of here. I got to go. I got stuff to do. I'm a very important man with very important things. Anyway, from everybody here at Gen X Talks, we'll catch you on the flip side.